Well, I guess I can't deny it. It has escalated again. And in the meantime, it also happened that it can now make some typewriter music. Can you hear it? It has very fast fingers. Hi, this is Luisa Heinzel, and this is my little typewriter junk journal. And I would like to show you a flip through this today. If you already follow my channel for a longer time, you might have already seen some of the things I have made for this journal and which went into the journal. If you have missed that and if you want to see that, then please check out the description box of this video. There I have linked a playlist, and in that playlist, that's a hard word, you can find all of the videos about this journal. I have filmed portions of my process, so you will not see a whole thing like, you know, making a journal from scratch or so, but you will find the main things which went into this, the main ideas, the main ephemera pieces, and so on. And when I had this, to be honest, I mean, if you have seen the series already, then you know that I originally only had planned to make some ephemera, and then later on it happened that I decided to make a whole journal. And then I took this little journal here, which I already made, I think, 2 years ago or so. It was still in my shelf. It was an empty little journal, which I had planned to use somehow like this, making ephemera and then throwing that into this. But it was not originally made for this. And when I saw this and when I then had it in front of me, this here was on the front as well. You can see that here still, but you can see I have added a lot here. And when I saw these polka dots, I was like, okay, this is not only perfect for a typewriter themed journal, but it also screams some butterflies and also a frame somehow. And that's how I came to the idea for this cover here. I have taken this frame. This is, I guess, resin. This is from a really, like cheap store, like a dollar store or so. I have aged this with some alcohol ink and also gilding wax. The original frame was already gold, but I thought it looks too new, and also it was not the gold I have, I mean, not the same kind of gold I have in the journal. So I have thrown some alcohol ink on here and then some gilding wax to alter this. But I think this matches this theme so very well. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. This butterfly is from my typewriter ephemera pack, which I printed to overhead transparency so that it is, transparent. And then I have taken this little ideology jar here. I have filled that with some glitter in black and gold. I don't know, can you see that there? And then I added this little label here. This is from the Curator Snippets ephemera pack from Ideology. These are just some butterfly feelers. And then I've glued that down here with this little flower where I have cut a quarter of the flower off, as you can see here, so that the little jar is really visible. And then I have taken the rest. No, not the rest. It's not the rest. It's what I have cut out here. And then I have put that behind the glass so that there's also a little bit of this white from the flower. These little guys here I have fiddled in here and glued them with some super glue so that this is not so boring. This is made from fabric. Some buttons here from the stash of my grandma and my mom. Perhaps if you follow me already, then you know that I have thousands of buttons from my mom and my grandma. They have collected these for some sewing projects, and then when they passed away, I got them. And that is always a special thing when I can add those to my journals. These little snippets here in the background are a mixture of the Curator snippets from Ideology as well, and my own vintage snippets from my shop. So this here, for example, is from my shop, and this as well. And these here on the top are the Curator snippets, and this here, well, it's just this tiny piece, but we want to stay correct. So this is from my Snippets ephemera pack as well. And this little thing here in the background, this card, comes from the typewriter ephemera pack. I will link all of the digitals I have used for this journal in the description box below. Yeah, so here we go. So this, for example, is also from the typewriter ephemera pack. This was originally one of the giant tags, but I have cut that down so that it fits then in this little pocket here. These fabrics I got in Happy Mails a pretty long time ago. This is hand dyed, I think. This looks so cool. Oh, I'm so in love with this fabric. Yeah. So then here we have a little belly band. We made this in one of the videos, which you can also find in the playlist. And I have just put these tags in here from the ephemera pack. And in this journal, again, the tags and most of the ephemera pieces are white from the back, on the back. I have talked about the reasons for that in many of my older videos, but again, I really enjoy to have... Why? Holy cow. Go in there, please. I'm sorry. I really enjoy to have the backs of the ephemera pieces white, because then the new owner of this journal has the possibility to do something on the back sides, and yeah, there's space for journaling and so on. If you already know me, you know that my journals are often pretty busy. I often can't resist to add more and more and more, and then it happens that I have something like this. Yeah, it's pretty full. But of course, I want that you can journal in my journals. And for that, I often leave the backs white so that you then can decide, do I want to stencil here or stamp or write or whatever. I mean, on the pages, there's obviously also space for journaling here, for example. I mean, there's no problem with journaling here, yeah? Or on these smaller pages here. Some of those I left just like they were. This is just from an old calendar. I had a ton of these pages. To be honest, I don't know where I got them from. Could be that they also were in a Happy Mail, but I'm not so sure. Somewhere, you know, from the trash can. Yeah. And I'm really, really happy that I took this small journal for this idea, because this here, for example, is also from the typewriter ephemera pack from my shop. And if you have followed this little series, then you already know that I had some thoughts about oversized ephemera, because this is printed on DIN A4. So that's the paper size we have here in Europe. That is similar to US letter size paper. But what I'm trying to say is this is the full size of the printable. So what you get when you say, I have the printable, please printer, print it, then this is the size what you get if you don't rescale it. And first I thought I need to take the ephemera pack and print it smaller to make it fit for the journal. But then I thought this fits on here. It is pretty big, yes, but it fits so that it's not peeking out here or so. But with that, I got this cool pocket, and I think it looks way better when it's so big, and I'm really happy that I didn't print it smaller. And I also found some solutions for some, ephemera pieces which were too big. For example, some journaling cards we've also made in one of the videos from the playlist. Also, this here is pretty big. I mean, it still fits to the page, yes, but somehow I think when the things are big, then they have more value somehow. That doesn't mean that everything in a journal needs to be big, yeah, but small things can also be beautiful. I mean, this is also small. This is a page tab, which is at the same time a little tuck spot, but I think you already got me. In here, to these smaller pockets, I've also included some of my, how are these called in my shop? Weathered numerical patina things. This is an ephemera pack which you can find in my shop as well. As I said, I will link everything which is digital down below in the description box. This paper is so cool. I don't know what that exactly is, but it's really thin, and this totally reminds me to typewriter paper. And as I said, it was coincidence, or yeah, there are no coincidences. Do you know what I mean? That I chose this journal, but with this paper in here, I'm so happy that this is in here. And you know, when I made the journal, I didn't think about this kind of paper. Also these glycine bags. And when I say that I didn't think about that, I mean in combination with the typewriter theme. But now this is just perfect. The most of these tags we made in one of the other videos, I have glued down so that this is a little tuck spot now. Let me quickly grab a piece of paper so that you can see that. So this is, you know, you can put something behind like a journaling paper or little card or so. Also here. And first I thought, I think I have even said that in one of the other videos with this page. This was such a thing. I was sitting in front of this page, I think for 2 hours or so, trying to decide if I want to have some pink and orange splatters here. But as you can see, it is exactly like it was when I had it in front of me the first time, because I thought if I splatter here now with pink and orange, this whole color palette doesn't work for me anymore. So I have decided against that. Yeah, sometimes you have to make those decisions. Like, for example, putting a tag upside down into a pocket because here's too much texture. This is also a piece from my mixed media masterboards I have shown you in the other videos. We have made several different things for the journal from mixed media masterboards, which I made from trash. In that case, the leftovers from some die cutting projects. If you haven't seen those videos and if you are interested in those, then please check out the description box. There's the playlist. And there you can then, if you have never done something like that, learn how to make those mixed media masterboards. This is also a little pocket. This is the rest of this tag here. I've just cut that off there, and then I had this shape left, and you know, I've turned that into a pocket. And also here on the page tabs, I have a ton of buttons from the stash of my grandma and my mom. I have mainly taken those which reminded me to those typewriter keys, and that are those which have these little loops there on the back. Can you see? I'm sure there's a specific name for these kind of buttons, but I don't know the name for those, even not in German. So I don't know the English word for these kind of buttons. But I think for something like this, like these dangles for a journal, those are pretty cool because you can use them for something like this without any problems. And with problems, I mean that you can't glue those buttons down so easily to your pages. So, you know, when you want to use buttons in a journal, I guess you want to make sure that they are pretty flat so that they don't add so much bulk. But these are really hard to glue. I mean, these are, I think, plastic. You could take some, what is the word? Pliers? Is that the word? These, where you can cut off something, or even sharp scissors. If this was plastic, yeah? And then, I mean, this is plastic, but if your button is also plastic, then it works. If it was metal, then you would need these, you know, professional tools. You could snip this off and then glue the button down, but it still adds a ton of bulk because it has this curve, like, you know, it looks like a mushroom head or so. And for these dangles, I find them really cool because they add interest and we can use them here, and we don't have bulk on the pages because they are all here on the side. So this is also the tuck spot. And I'm totally in love with this mixture of trash and digitals. That is really, really crazy how cool this came out in this journal. I mean, that sounds always so arrogant when you call your own work cool. But we need to be proud of the things we made, right? So I find this really, really interesting. And I also included some really, you know, fluffy and fuzzy things from my lace scrap box. So I would consider this as somehow trash as well, because these tiny pieces, I mean, what is that? We don't throw them away. Yes, so it's, yeah, well, perhaps then trash. Trash is not the right word for that, but normal people would throw that away when only such a tiny piece is left. And as you can see, we can do the coolest things with those. Also with the leftover threads from sewing. Yeah, I have a ton of these threads always next to my sewing machine because I put them into a little jar and then I, use them in my projects. And another thing which I will never forget when, when my life goes on, I will never forget the moment with this color combination. This is walnut stain and frayed burlap. And oxide spray. And I have absolutely no idea why I haven't come to the conclusion that this is gorgeous earlier, because perhaps you remember when we made this and when we found the position for this page tab, I discovered this color combination and I'm so in love. I'm assuming that this color combination will go into my future journals very often because this is just amazing. And I'm totally in love how the oxidation fits to the color of this button here. I mean, it's not coincidence that this button is here, but look, oh, yeah. I know I'm a freak when it comes to color combinations, but I can't resist to make these little details so that everything fits really well together. So this is a belly band as well. Some of these ephemera pieces I have had leftover from the ephemera pack, and with leftover I mean printed and cut out, but not decorated like this tag, for example. Some of those I've just glued down like they were, because I thought then you can still make some focal points like little butterflies or other typewriter themed things or page tabs or whatever, and then throw that on those empty ephemera pieces like this belly band here, for example. I've just left it like it was. This was also too long after I had printed it to DIN A4, so I have just folded it around the page here, so that then this is also a little space where you can tuck something behind. And if you follow my channel already, you already know that, but can someone please explain me how I could miss my obsession for page tabs for such a long time? I don't know what that is, but somehow I want to make page tabs every single day. And I made these here. We have some more generic page tabs in this journal, like these lighter ones on the edges of the pages. And then we made in one of the, these I made off camera, but these we made in a video. So that means we have two kinds of page tabs in this journal, these more generic ones and these. And when I made these off camera, I thought, okay, I have a ton of those. My whole desk was filled with those page tabs, and I've spent 2 days to make them. And, I added these little labels, little bit stamping, and then all of this stuff here, these little collages here, and some die cuts, and so on. And then I thought, okay, that will last for the next months. If I need a page tab in one of my journals, I will have one, because I made them for my stash. After I had glued the page tabs to this journal, the desk was empty. And I needed to make more page tabs. I don't know what that is, because that is just cool. And I also found out that you can add page tabs to whatever you want, not only pages. You will not see that in this journal, because here I have mainly added them to the pages themselves. Like here, for example, also with these little dots as a little decoration. But in the meantime, I made more off camera, and I figured out that you can add them to wherever you want. Here, for example, please imagine we had a page. Ooh, shall we quickly grab one? I mean, why not? I have some more here. So let's take one. These are not finished yet, but I quickly wanted to show you what I mean. So I have just made this little thing added my stamping, inking, and these little, you know, pieces of ephemera. And now, of course, you could say I take this and I add that somewhere here, and I have a nice page tab, and that peeks out from the page. But why not add it, for example, to a pocket like so? Well, this is probably, well, is that weird with this circle and this circle? I'm not so sure if I shall like that perhaps a little bit higher, so that it is not overlapping there with the circles, but I think this would be a really, really nice addition. Shall we? Well, it would make no sense because it's so beautiful here, but if you, I don't want to waste the back of, well, komm, that is German. Come on. Let's glue that down there so that we can really see how that looks. Because I think if you have something like this here, it's not only cool, but at the same time, it helps to get the thing you want to have in the pocket into the pocket. Because, you know, when we glue pockets like so, I have to press this here for a moment so that the glue can grab. Oh, I'm sorry. When we glue pockets like so, like I've done it here, with having the glue here and here and here, just behind the paper, and we glue that down, then the paper is really close to the page. Do you know what I mean? And here we have to sometimes then figure out how to fiddle the paper in here. Sometimes that can be hard, depending on the material you've used, depending on the paper you have used for making the pocket. And I find with a page tab here, it is way easier to get this behind here, because this paper is sturdier, it's a little bit stiffer, and then you can, you know, take this, and even if it's a little bit crumpled here, you can easily put that behind there, and this page tab somehow helps you to get the things in the pockets. I mean, that's only a tiny thing, which is handy. I would, my arguments for having a page tab here on such a pocket would be more like on the aesthetic side of the argumentation. Do you know what I mean? So that it looks cool, but it's really handy as well, I think. And I have to shout out Tony's channel again, Tony at Crafty by Tony. Tony, if you're watching this, I think, I mean, perhaps you have watched my other videos as well already, then you already know that I have a really, really big crush on you. I can't resist watching her videos. Sometimes it's really hard, especially with this Mass Making March series she's doing on her channel. If you haven't seen that, check her out, please. I will again link her channel down below in the description box. She is such an amazing woman, crafter, and everything. She is so cool. And to be honest, when I had a really, really hard day, I mean, this is work for me. Yeah? I mean, it's fun, obviously, as well. But making a journal is a lot of work, isn't it? And editing the videos and doing all of this babysitting, social media babysitting stuff. You know what I mean? That is really exhausting sometimes. But when I then in the evening think, oh, perhaps Tony has a new video, I turn on my YouTube and my day is yeah, it changes with the first breath she takes, and that is just, it's just cool. She is at the same time so funny when she when she talked about how long she has searched for some manila folders the other day. She totally cracked me up with that, and that is, it's just so much fun. And that's of course not only for her but also for other channels who give us inspiration. I'm really, really happy that we can be together in this community, that we can inspire each other. And I mean, what is this? We made this together. And you have heard me saying that very often, I think, that when I flip through a journal, it's like flipping through something we've made together. that may sound weird because I'm sitting here alone talking to my camera. You are not here, but you are here, and you have been here in every single second I've made this. And even if you are one of those who don't have a YouTube channel, I mean, the most of you don't have a YouTube channel, yeah, but I mean, when I shout out Tony or other channels, that sounds weird, because where's the difference between those people and you who might not have a YouTube channel? There is no difference, because we are all in the same, sitting all in the same boat, and we are all in the same community. But obviously, I can't come over to your house and look to your desk. Yeah, I can do that, for example, on Tony's channel. I can directly see what is on her desk. You can see that here on my channel. And that is somehow a difference, but I don't want to make a difference. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, my obsession for page tabs definitely came from Tony. So if you see this, Tony, thank you so much. And to be honest, I didn't know how many different variations of page tabs you can make until I found her videos. Yeah, and you can use whatever you like, and you can. I mean, perhaps I should rename this journal into page tab journal. That would probably be more fitting to this. Yeah, here I have taken one of these journaling cards. If you have seen the video where we made these, you know, fit to the journal, this here was originally also one of these journaling cards in the same size like the other one. And I have torn this off here, put the other part here, so that this is then a tuck spot and this is a tuck spot as well. And there were some of these cards left. And this here is also one of those. Here I made this little trick by folding it here, and then I have just attached it here as an additional page. I found it really important that this piece of the mixed media masterboard is still behind this wing, because first I thought I cut it here somehow or also tear it off here, but I found this so interesting that this translucent wing is over the mixed media masterboard and that you can then see that through there. And at the same time, you can see the print from the printable here in the background. And that is somehow really interesting. So I didn't want to destroy that. First, I thought I wanted to use this as my piece for the cover. But then when I saw this, I mean, I had it loose, yeah, and I have put it to the cover. And then I thought, no, I need this frame, but I need a transparency here as well. So from this, the cover came somehow. And yeah, don't be afraid to tear your already finished pieces. Here, this, for example, this banner also came to life because I have cut a piece from the other cards off to make that fit. And then I had this cool thing. And you would never know that this was not made like this on purpose with the plan I want to make a banner. You would never know that this is just the rest of a journaling card. Also this little piece here, which I have put to this page tab. By the way, Tony, do you have a video about triangular tuck spots? Tuck spots, I'm sorry, page tabs. I think this is a really good use for those triangles, which you cut from here. You know, then you always have this little triangle piece left, and you could then do it like so. So that is nothing else than the page tab here, and the triangle is just pieced on there. Here, meeting this little, these little edges are meeting. Do you know what I mean? I think that is an interesting shape. This also took me some moments to realize that I want to have it like it is here. This is also printed on a transparency. And first I thought I want to layer this with some more layers, moths or butterflies or so. But then I decided that it needs to be exactly like it is without anything else on top. But sometimes you also need to step back a little bit and then, you know, come back to the project and then you are able to see what you want to do or what you want to have in your journal and what not. Yeah, so these little numbers here can also later on be used to decorate the journal further. So if you think, oh, here it's empty, then you can take these numbers and glue them down here somewhere. And what I also still need to do is, and perhaps, no, this is not such a good place. I want, perhaps here, I want to stamp the number of this journal here. I quickly need to take a look at my little dingsbums here. It's 119, so that is journal number 119 I made. They're always, oh, this is hard. Stamp those numbers in here with these little stamps. Please don't ask me which brand this is. I have bought these locally in my hometown ages ago. I can't tell you which brand that is, unfortunately. And now this 9 is not so readable. Oh, that never happened to me. Well, I will take my pen and go over this. Oh my goodness, this freaks my freak. I will just do it like this so that you can clearly read it. Okie dokie. Then that's it. And I'm really hoping that you could get some inspiration from this. If you want to check out the printables I have used for making this, then please check out the description box. And I have already some more things for the next projects on my desk. So that means we will definitely talk about page tabs in the future again. If you don't want to hear this, then this is probably the wrong channel for you. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. Of course, we are doing other things as well, yeah? But I already have some things for Easter in my mind. So if you want to see that and if you want to follow along, then please feel free to subscribe to this channel and watch my future videos as well. And have a very great and creative day. See you the next time. Bye-bye.